Hey guys, it's Alvin and Jess, and we are
The Most Potato. On today's episode, we'll be discussing everything we watched in 2023 when it comes to movies.
Everything?
Well, everything we think we watched.
Okay.
So we'll be recapping all of the best movies that we watched in 2023 as well as our worst ones.
And we'll be talking about our most anticipated films for the year 2024.
That's right.
So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we hope you guys enjoy the show.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast. A very special one because it is our first episode of 2024. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy 2024. We hope you're not too hungover while listening to this. Probably not, because it's going to be a couple days after the New Year's Eve celebrations. Unless you decide to get drunk very late, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be stupid, though.
I hope everyone had a really fun and safe New Year's and Christmas and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and all that good stuff. All the other holidays I might not be aware of.
Yeah.
And we hope you guys had a good year in movies, because that's what we're gonna basically what we're discussing is all the best and weakest movies that Jess and I have watched in 2023. Now, I want to put an asterisk on this. We obviously did not see every single movie that came out. I wish we could do that, but we would have to be. I mean, I used to be able to do that when I was like in college.
But do you want to
working
go
part-time.
watch a movie that you're like, I'm not going to watch that shit?
Yeah, no, I actually wouldn't want to do that. I would only go to see things that I actually care about,
Shout
whether
out
it's good
to
or
the
bad.
real reviewers that do it for us,
I know.
because I ain't doing it. Maybe we'll. Who knows?
Yeah, no, we are not the type of people that can go out and go see every single type of movie, especially a movie that we just don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
So our list is definitely going to be very different from what you guys might have on your personal list, which is perfectly fine, because art and movies, they're subjective. What you think is the best is probably not going to be what's on our list.
Trash. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
And whatever's worst for you might not be the same on our worst or weakest list. We're staying away from worst, because I feel like we didn't see a lot of bad movies. We saw a lot of movies that were like...
Just disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing, or middle of the road, mediocre.
Don't be sorry. Be
fine.
better.
What? Kratos. Words of Atreus or Atreus. Yeah, so we're basically going to be discussing all of our best movies that we've seen and our weakest movies that we've seen in 2023, and we'll be discussing what we're crazy about in terms of 2024 films and what we're really excited to witness coming this year. So I guess let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
Let's do this. All right. I'm gonna start off with my list. So and I'm gonna try my best to be quick.
Any particular order?
I did have a particular order in mind. It's fine that you don't have one.
Well, of course it's fine. You sound like those people. It's okay if you want to wear a mask still.
That is not what I sound like. Fuck those people. People, wear your fucking masks. When you're out in public, wear your masks.
Yes.
Anyways, I'll start off with my best 10 of 2023. So starting off from number 10, I'm going to start off with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I can already hear screams.
Why screams?
Because some people are just like, it's the best Marvel movie ever. It's just like, well, it's really the only good Marvel movie we've had this year. In the last 3 years.
3 years, yeah. Since, honestly, like, if we're being honest, everyone, let's like, the stuff that Marvel's been dropping, it hasn't been good. Like, we have to admit that. I really feel like
a lot of mediocrity.
It has. There's potential. That's why I'm like, be better. But like they're not doing that, because they're just trying to rake in the money and get as much garbage out there as they can for us to consume. And you really just have to stop and think, like, is this actually good? As much as you want to see like your favorite heroes in the next chapter, or ones that you were hoping to see like a while ago step out, they're not introducing some people like, or heroes well at all, or characters well at all. Like, what is it, Moon Knight?
Yeah.
That shit looks sexy. I was disappointed. Like, I liked maybe one episode and I was just like, I could get behind this character, but it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Guardians of Galaxy 3, that That was a really good one.
That was the only good one that we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I appreciated that one.
And it's very special because this was James Gunn's final farewell to these characters. And I like how people, when people heard that he was going to give a nice send-off and farewell to the characters, everyone just thought, oh my God, who's going to die? Everyone's going to die. I'm just like, it's the fake death cinematic universe. Ain't no such thing as death. Mm-hmm. Like, they brought back Gamora as soon as they killed her, so... And I get she's a different Gamora, but it's still bringing back Gamora. But this is like the best send-off that I've seen in a while, and probably like the best one I've seen in any comic book movie, because with the whole thing with American comics, it's like nothing ever really ends. So it's nice to see the Guardians have a definitive ending without anyone being gone or disappeared. It's just certain people are going their own separate ways. Mm-hmm. And it was just a really fun, really awesome action-packed movie with Marvel's first fucking F-bomb, which was so hilarious. Like, I'm so glad that they remembered you can have one F-bomb in a PG-13 that's non-sexual in context. And they used it very nice. So that was a good time. I love Guardians 3. Mm-hmm. And it was really good. It was actually really good. It wasn't good for just a comic book movie. It was just a good movie in general. So that's my number 10. Number 9, I've got John Wick 4. And I didn't have a lot of hope for this movie because by the time John Wick 3 came out, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of wicked out. I'm tired. There's only so much wick that you can John that you can wick. Like, this man has to die at some point. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, they kill him.
No, they didn't.
They killed him. No, they didn't. They killed him. I don't care if they announce John Wick 5. That's going to be, I don't know, somebody else, some new wick.
How much you want to put on it?
I actually won't put any money because I guarantee that they will bring Keanu Reeves back. I'm not, what, these franchise movies, I know they don't take risks. So I'm hoping that they just decide not to do John Wick 5. I love, again, another movie that has a send-off that's actually, it feels like a payoff.
But what if I'm wrong? You could win $500.
Nope. So John Wick 4 was really awesome. Action is amazing. Probably the best action and cinematography of the whole franchise. Mm-hmm. Each movie has gotten better in its own ways. I honestly forget what happened in John Wick 2. I only watched it once. It was very forgettable.
I don't remember what happened in any of them, but I know that Keanu looked really good in the suit, and I love the long hair. So that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters to me. And he kills a lot of people, and he took forever to get up them stairs in the last one. But that's about it.
And the funny thing is, he wasn't even the most interesting character in this movie. For me personally, it was oh god, why am I forgetting this dude's name? He's a legend in the Kung Fu movies. Fuck. I feel disrespectful for not. Donnie Yen. Thank you, Alvin, for reminding me. Donnie Yen's character, the blind man, he was so fucking cool. And I could see a whole spin-off series with him,
that shit
honestly.
Was funny. His fight scene in the kitchens was just like, it was
so cool. Every moment was just action-packed. It was a 3-hour movie, and not once did it feel like it was dragging or anything.
Yeah.
It was such a fun time. And then just... Oh, God. I could name all the action scenes, but then I'd be here for like a whole hour talking about it.
Yeah, we ain't got time.
So John Wick 4 takes my number 9 spot. It was a memorable time at the theaters. Coming in at number 8, we've got Talk to Me, which is very special because that's our podcast's very first episode.
Oh, yeah.
When we first launched in August.
Babies.
Yeah. So Talk to Me was a very pleasant surprise. I liked the trailers, but I didn't expect too much of it because I was like, all right, another standard possession movie.
Yeah.
But, man, the way that it took the social media spin and the drug addiction spin on playing with spirits as teenagers, I thought was really awesome. It was a great cautionary tale of what happens when you let pain take over and not try to process it and how that affects your loved ones around you. It was just like a really just fun, just out of nowhere, exciting movie, and that's why it takes the number 8 for me. And then at number 7, we've got Barbie. Now, I didn't think Barbie was going to make my top 10 list, but I had to think about it for a while, and I was just like, I really like the experience at Barbie. It might not be like the greatest movie that I've seen. I have problems with it. And this is a movie that we haven't reviewed on the podcast. So some of these movies are going to be ones that we haven't even reviewed yet. Mm-hmm. But this was a really fun time. I liked dressing in pink and just going to the movies with you and watching, dolls become real people. Like, I didn't think it was going to be as fun as it was.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Ryan Gosling stuff was like my favorite segment. It's just so stupid and goofy and funny. And it was just a really awesome time. And during a weird, like, perfect storm of marketing between Barbie and Oppenheimer, it was just like a blast. So yeah, I did not mean for that pun to come. It was a blast. So that's Barbie at number 7. Number 6, I've got They Cloned Tyrone. And I almost forgot about this movie if you hadn't put it up on your list too, because I was like, that's right, we did watch that.
So you're copying me.
Yes.
This isn't authentic.
It's very authentic. I authentically bit you off.
Wow.
Yes. No, this movie, I wish it was in theaters, but I know damn well it wouldn't have made any money because the marketing would have been off. It's sci-fi. Sci-fi movies are like notorious for getting bad marketing because a lot of times standard Hollywood studios are just like, I don't know how to market something like Annihilation or Men or something.
Or brown people.
Or just, yes. Or just a black cast. This was such a great fun, like this was like Scooby-Doo on drugs with a bit of horror and comedy. It was so freaking cool. It needs to be talked about more. A lot more people need to watch this. So guys, if you haven't checked out our They Cloned Tyrone episode, go watch that or go listen to it and then go watch the movie or vice versa, whichever you want. But you need They Cloned Tyrone in your blood system right now. Coming in at number 5 is probably going to be my most controversial pick. Number 5, I've got Blue Beetle. That's right, Warner Brothers and DC's own Blue Beetle that came out in like August. I think that was an August drop. Yeah, it made like no money. It was a money loser, which wasn't its own fault. This is coming off of a really shitty legacy of the DC universe, which is now finally over, thank God, now that Aquaman is the last movie that came out, and that's a whole other topic.
Oh, yes, Aquaman.
Yes. So because the DCU brand had lost basically all the trust of the fandom, nobody went to go see Blue Beetle, but it got good word of mouth. Everyone that did watch it genuinely liked it. And I was one of the few people that genuinely love it, despite some of its shortcomings with like the script writing and the villain writing. I acknowledge the problems with that, but this Blue Beetle was like my little Black Panther moment, which, to clarify, it means like my cultural shift. Like I finally get to see people of my culture, people that look like me, be the main character. And that's always a fucking fun time when you write them authentically. And the fact that the family characters would always steal the show from Blue Beetle himself, like I did not expect that at all.
Yeah.
Had an awesome time. Watched that shit twice in theaters because I had to go watch it with my dad after we watched it together.
And he had to buy 2 Blu-rays, one for him, one for his dad. And he had to buy 2 T-shirts, one for him, one for his dad. And he had to buy pop figures.
A pop figure. I had to. I did not see that coming at all.
You're cute.
I did not see that coming. And this was supposed to be straight to streaming.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they ended up putting it in theaters.
But I had a feeling.
I knew this was gonna be a money loser.
It was gonna be. I didn't. I wasn't feeling that. I mean, we knew that was gonna happen. But I had a feeling that it was actually gonna be good, regardless of it being DC. When I watched the trailers for the first time, they were fun.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it. I honestly was, and I wasn't like surprised, but I was just like, they told us what they were gonna give us. And they actually did what they said they were going to do.
Yep.
Is it the greatest movie of all time? No, but it's probably one of the best DC movies so far that I've seen. And
which isn't saying much.
It's not saying much, but
there's like 3 good movies maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And it did exactly what I expected it to do, and I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't I wasn't expecting anything more. Yeah. And it was still very enjoyable. Yeah. So I hope that people continue to go watch it and give it the praise that it actually, deserves. Because this was a really good and fun time, and I hope that they do keep Xolo as Blue Beetle.
They said they will.
Okay, they will.
Confirmed,
okay,
which is exciting.
Hopefully the movies that they do
are
good, because this was actually it was a good movie.
Yes,
it was. Like if I have to say like superhero movies for this year, this would be over Guardians of the Galaxy for me, just because of how much I enjoyed it. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy.
Fair enough. I have it on number 5 compared to Guardians.
Yeah,
I'm raging people right now.
Yeah, but Guardians of the Galaxy is good just because that's like my Marvel side. Like that's when I go over there to that side and stuff. But overall, just enjoyability and something new and fresh to me anyway. I don't know shit about Blue Beetle. I don't know how many people do, but I enjoyed it. I really did. And I just hope it could get better from there. And I hope DC does something better. But I don't have my hopes up for that.
I have hopes because James Gunn is he knows what he's been doing directing wise. Now we just have to see how he does in terms of mapping out the movies because he's the Kevin Feige now, which is going to be very interesting. So yeah, Blue Beetle at number 5 for me. So you can send me all the death threats in the comments section and I'll respond accordingly.
Do it, I dare you.
At number 4, we've got Monster coming in. And no, this is not because of recency bias. Monster is a fabulous fucking movie. I don't know what it is about December, but December said, you're going to eat really well with Japanese cinema. You're going to get Monster, you're going to get The Boy and the Heron, and you're going to get Godzilla -1.
They know how to do Christmas.
Yes, they delivered. And man, Monster was so freaking good. Again, another movie that we did review just recently. I just love, as soon as we watched the trailers, we knew right away we were going to watch this. This a story all about perspective and what happens when people don't have the full picture of what's going on in your child's life. It's something that's been done before, but it doesn't get tired. It just doesn't, because the human condition is always like constantly changing, and people react to trauma differently. People react to traumatized people very differently and don't know how to handle that. And it's all about perspective. And then the fact that at the center of this movie, it's also a queer story, which I did not expect at all. They didn't market that at all. All of those things working together just felt like a very genuine story that needed to be told about these 2 young boys at the heart of being misunderstood by all the adults in their lives, and basically learning how to cope with that as a child, while also giving us the perspective of the adults who are misunderstanding the whole situation. And if you feel vague about what I'm talking about, go listen to our episode on Monster, because there's so much detail that I don't want to unpack here.
Yeah.
But Monster, man, I want this to be like nominated in the Oscars. It really should be. I don't think it will make it for any category, but it really should be. I think it should be nominated for at least Best Picture, because it is a fantastic story. So Monster comes in at number 4 for me. Next, at number 3, I've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I'm flashing back to like 2017 when me and our friend Danny, we went to go watch this way back when we were doing our very first podcast that me and Danny started together. And I remember we were talking heavy shit about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Especially me. I was like, oh man, the animation looks stupid. Why is it all glitchy? Like, where's all the frames that are missing? Like, nobody care about no Miles Morales. I was one of those haters. I was just like...
He's like, your mistake.
I know.
You Miguel ass.
For real. Oh my God. Yeah, because I was already coming off of like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and then Spider-Man was getting rebooted, and I was like, all right, Sony doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Lo and behold, I fell in love with Into the Spider-Verse. And then now, after coming off of Across the Spider-Verse, I'm like, holy shit, I love this even more than the first movie. Like, I think at first I said I liked the first movie more because I wasn't really thrilled on the ending of the second movie not being like a complete ending. It's like a setup for the next movie. But after thinking about it more and more, I'm like, they set up a lot more that couldn't be resolved in this one movie. And I'm okay with that now. So I really love this movie. This movie really pushes the ideas even further that were introduced in the first Spider-Man. There's so many themes that I want to talk about that we can't get into because that's like a whole discussion there. But the animation's gorgeous. The story is gorgeous. Miles is as charming as ever. Yes. Gorgeous dark melanin skin. I'm glad they did not lighten him up for whatever reason.
They just got his flag wrong.
Yes, they got his flag wrong in the video game. It's genuinely in the conversation of best comic book movie ever. And it shouldn't be disqualified just because it's animation, because animation is a medium. It's not a genre. And I'm sorry, but this is better than a lot of live action Spider-Mans that we've had. Like, I like Andrew. I like it more than all the Tom Holland ones, that's for sure. And I like it definitely more than the Andrew Garfield ones. And I might like it more than the Tobey Maguire ones.
Okay, you're taking it too far.
I know, but that's how I'm feeling. It's one of the best stories. It takes the Spider-Man trope and the story and just like puts a nice fresh spin on it that not a lot of people would have thought of. It does some daring things that will probably piss off like comic book purists who only care about Peter Parker. And I'm okay with that because it's coming from a genuine place. It's not doing it because it wants to troll you. Yeah. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, number 3. It's one of the best movies I've seen just in general, regardless if it's animated or not. So now we're coming to the last 2. And who's it going to be? It's going to be Godzilla -1 at number 2. I tried to sound like one of those old school NASCAR racing like narrator guys. I don't know. I failed.
Yeah.
It's okay. Godzilla -1. This almost became my number 1. And again, it's not recency bias. We've seen a lot of movies. And I've seen a lot of movies that I love, but I wasn't prepared for what Godzilla -1 did to me. Like, as soon as I saw the trailers, I knew, okay, it's doing something different. It's being dedicated to the original 1954 film, but doing a fresh spin on focusing on character-driven stories.
Yeah.
And then when we watched the movie, it just fully delivered on that. Like, it made you care about the people on the ground. I did not feel thrilled whenever Godzilla showed up and wrecked shit. I usually am excited about that because they usually make the characters very boring.
Yeah, you don't give a shit. You're like, squish him.
Yes, and here I was just like, kill Godzilla now, please. Like, every time he showed up, I wish he would go away. And I love the Godzilla sequences. They're cool now, but they're horrific. And I was genuinely horrified. And I legit was teary-eyed, and I can't wait to watch it again for my birthday.
Oh, yes, we're doing that.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Alvin.
Yes, thank you. So, and it's just, it reinvents the Godzilla mythos in a whole new way. It's genuinely my favorite Godzilla movie ever, and it feels like my definitive one, even though I've watched the previous ones before. Like, I've watched the 54 one in later years of my life, but this one feels like the definitive Godzilla. Like, you need to watch this before it goes away from theaters. It's doing so well financially, and there's a good reason why. It's such a fantastic movie. So that's why Godzilla gets number 2. And then finally, drum roll for number 1. I can't do drum roll on my lap. I'm not meaty enough.
But for number 1, the movie that made this man cry. Yes.
Number 1 is going to be Blue Giant for me.
Oh, didn't see that coming.
I actually did not see that coming when I was putting the list together.
Oh, really?
I thought something like Godzilla -1 would take it, or Across the Spider-Verse, or I wouldn't put Blue Beetle that far up, but at least Godzilla -1 or Spider-Man, because
Blue Beetle, know your place.
Yeah, no, Blue Giant just it blew me away. Like, I knew what I was going in for. I knew what to expect because I was so hyped for this movie. Like, you guys heard me go on and on about this manga and this anime film, but it genuinely deserves the number 1 spot for me, because if you told me back in the beginning of this year that an anime film would be my most favorite experience in a movie theater this year, I'd be like, you're fucking crazy. Like, we're getting shit like Oppenheimer. We're getting shit like Across the Spider-Verse. Like I love anime, but I don't know if I would love it that much.
But you do, because how many reviews did you do on your personal YouTube for the manga and the anime? Yes. Go check those out, guys. He's really cute.
No.
Yes.
Just wait till the sequels come out, too. You will not hear me shut up about it. No, this was one of the best movie-going experience I've ever had. I knew I was excited for this movie, but they could have easily fucked up the movie somehow, and they didn't, and they just delivered on everything. Like, the animation is gorgeous. The characters are just, they're fully, like, lived in. They feel real. And then just the crowd that we were with was so fun. Like, it genuinely kind of felt like when we went to the Marvel movies and everyone would cheer and shit.
Yeah.
Like, it was an active crowd. And I'm like, this is for an anime movie about jazz.
It felt like we were watching, like, live music, basically.
And like, that's the best part. There were moments in the movie where it felt like we were just at a really high intensity jazz concert.
That's why I think people were clapping, applauding, and, like,
bobbing their heads and shit. Like, just dancing to, like, all the music that we heard. Getting emotional when sad shit would happen, and it was just like, and I'm over here just like weeping during the last performance that they have as a band, and I'm just like, I don't know if any other movie going experience this year has beat it. Godzilla -1 also was very emotional for me, but I didn't fully break down the way that I did at Blue Giant.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to give this to Blue Giant for the number 1 spot, and I can't believe I'm saying that, because I did not expect that. Even halfway through this year, even after seeing the trailer and everything, I'm like, I know I'm going to like this movie. But it ended up being my favorite movie of the year, my favorite movie going experience of the year. So those are my top 10s, and I'm not going to list them all again. You guys can hit rewind if you want to hear all the titles. So now we're going to go on to your top 10, babe, in no particular order.
Yeah, mine's is in no particular order, but mine's has a lot of your film, so no need to get back.
You copied me.
Nah. I made my list after you, and then you were like, "Oh, that looks kind of good. Let me act like Clone Tyrone." And I'm just like, "Okay, great." Anyhoodle. So let's see. No particular order, but I will try to start off with movies that I don't really give that much shit about, but they're still really good.
Okay.
So, Knock at the Cabin. That was this year, right?
That is this year. Yeah, I think it was back in like February or March.
Yeah.
I forget. That feels like a lifetime ago.
It does.
It's one of those movies that felt like, was it this year or last year?
Was it? I feel like that might be wrong. Y'all let me know. Is right? Okay.
Yeah, because we looked through my AMC A list.
Oh, yes. And then I was just like, oh, shit, we did watch that. And oh, shit, that was funny. It was, I think I liked it as one of my best movies because I was just like, damn, could you imagine? Like the only reason why they made it through this is because they're actually a decent family that loves each other. Can't relate. So I was just like, oh wow. But no, that was really good. Obviously, it wasn't.
A lot of people didn't like it or thought it was mediocre, and I was like, this was fun. It was
fun.
Good.
I think it was fun.
It's a strong, good movie. I wouldn't say it's great and amazing, but it's good.
Exactly.
I thought it was good.
That I enjoyed it,
despite its flaws.
I think lately with the movies that have been coming out, not just superhero movies, Marvel, DC, whatever, but I've just been like, my expectations haven't been very high for movies lately.
We've been coming off of a rough year, like just in general, in terms of quality of films.
I don't know if it's COVID, the strikes, people just not giving a fuck nowadays.
It's a lot of
trying to make money. I don't know what it is, but now when I go to movies, I want to see movies and watch them and enjoy them, but I don't have high expectations anymore. I'm not just like, oh, so and so's in that or so and so did that. I'm just like, hopefully it's not a waste of my time. And hopefully it's not too long too.
Yeah.
But that's like one of my best movies for the year.
Interesting choice. I like it.
Yes. And John Wick. I already told you.
Jean-Luc.
Keanu Reeves, suit, killing people, falling downstairs. That's a good time. And let's see. They cloned Tyrone. I love that movie. I think that was really fun to watch. Yeah. And analyze. And John Boyega, I love him. That was a really good movie, and I do wish it was released in theaters.
Yeah.
But like you said, it wouldn't have done
so
well.
Money.
So
yeah,
I guess it's fine for it to be a Netflix drop.
Yeah.
And let me see. Talk to Me. That was good. I don't really like scary movies, horror movies.
I keep forgetting that.
I don't like those movies.
I forget you only watch them because I'm watching them.
Yes.
And you're doing this for the podcast too.
It's for you. It's for you guys.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't like movies like this.
I love horror.
But watching it, like you said, the spin on, dealing with, with grief and like using this supernatural creepy hand and like possession as like a way of like saying, oh, this is drugs or drinking or just, I just thought that was really different from things that I've seen or things that I've
a fresh spin on the possession, because there's so many fucking movies that are just ripping off The Exorcist, and I'm just like, it's way more boring and stupid.
It's just all tied to some creepy culty religion thing or something, and I'm just like, okay, well.
And here the hand is just a fucking mystery.
Yes, exactly. So I really love that, and I'm glad that was one of our first episodes that we talked about.
That was fun.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That was basically like a standalone and a farewell. It was like they were like just growing up. That's what it felt like. It wasn't like
the kids are growing up and moving out of the neighborhood.
Basically, that's what it felt like. So like it wasn't like it's over, like, time to recast and blah blah blah. It just felt like they were growing up, and maybe we'll see them again, but it's okay if we don't. Like,
exactly.
It didn't feel like anything like, oh wow, like what's the next thing? Because after Endgame, we were like, oh wow, what's the next thing? And it's been trash. So that was also on my list for top 10 for 2023. Blue Beetle, like I said, it told me what it was gonna do, and it delivered, and it was a good time. It was a good time, and no one can deny that. If you aren't sure, go watch it, and you can't deny it. So shut up. Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, obviously, that's also a good time. I feel like I liked the first one better.
Okay, that's fair.
But I like the world overall. So I actually don't even want to like break them into 2 movies. I don't know if that's like okay to say, but I just don't.
I guess.
I don't feel like breaking them into 2 movies, even though they are just like the story itself. Miles, his world, everything that's going on. And I'm really hoping that they can like churn out the 3rd one, like when they said they are, or like when they estimate they will. Because
it would have to be this. They said this year. I don't believe it'll be this year.
I'm really hoping it will be like, if it's like end of this year, that's perfectly fine.
As long as the animators are okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying, I'm like, I'm hoping it will be, but you know, things happen. Because like you said, the way that it ended, it was like, it was fine. The ending was fine, but it was also just like, y'all really giving this big ass cliffhanger. Y'all
like
really
it's a
leaving
fucking
us here.
TV series.
I know.
Like, nope,
don't do this, because like I don't know when you're coming back. You don't know when you're coming back.
I know. How long did we have to wait for this one? Like the last one was in 2017.
Yeah.
So,
what, that was really, was it?
Yes, 2017. Sorry, no, 2018.
No.
2018.
Yeah, I was like, you took me to see
that's
that
right.
one. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you already seen it, and I was just like, wait, what? No way. So yeah, I really like that one. So let's see.
That's a really good one.
Next one would be Godzilla -1.
-1.
I like this.
Color.
I can't be like you and be like, this is the best Godzilla movie ever, but I'm gonna say that it is, because
you might as well say that it is. I don't think you'll watch any other Godzilla movie and feel any different.
I don't think so. And it's not even because of Godzilla, which I know most people are like fans of the monster itself, but it's the story base, it's the characters. I fell in love with that. I fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with the captain. And you know, it was so good. It was really emotional for there being a giant monster just coming and fucking shit up. It was
no reason.
For no reason too. Like I couldn't even get behind and be like, well, y'all in his territory. Like no, he was just being a dick. Yeah. Basically. But the story, the main character and all the characters that showed up along, you know, the way, it was really emotional. And I really enjoyed that, and I wasn't expecting to get that from a Godzilla movie, because I'm not like a Godzilla fan. I watched the one from the 90s or whatever, where they're like set in New York.
You have minimal exposure,
and then that Kong versus Godzilla shit in like the past few years, where I'm just like, okay, sure, monsters fighting. Mothra, yes. Why'd you say that name? All that shit, you know. But yeah, so that's also on my list. Monster was really emotional. Everything Alvin said, basically, you know, about that trauma, about different point of views and different sides of stories. It was just a really emotional thing, and I love the ending. I know I fucked you up with the ending when I was just like,
with your theory.
Did they die, or are they, you know?
That was very interesting to point out.
I like endings that, like, open endings that kind of leave things
that make you think.
Yeah, and
think twice.
I'm already traumatized and emotional and feeling for these 2 young boys, and you know, even the mom and the teacher, you know, they're going through shit too. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's like close to like my top number 1 of the list or whatever. You could place that however you want to. I said no particular order. But it was a really good movie.
Nice.
Blue Giant was also on my list, and I wasn't expecting to give a shit about it like that.
I know, because you'd never read the manga. You didn't know shit about it.
You were just like, this is a manga about jazz. I'm like, can you hear it? You're like, no, it's just really good. I was like, okay, you just like music, so I'm gonna leave you to that.
Yes. So yeah, the fact that you who's like not even a fan of the original source material, for you to love that movie that much, I'm really happy, because you're basically a litmus test of would this movie work for casual film goers who just want to go see a movie to have a good time. And it proves that you don't have to be a fan of the manga to appreciate a movie like that. Yeah. So I'm really glad you had that much of a good time, that it made it onto your top 10.
Yeah. It was really, really good. I wish it was in theaters longer.
It was only for two fucking
days,
nights,
and we
man.
almost missed it because of fucking apple picking.
Yes, it was a disaster.
But it was a really good movie, and I'm glad I got to, I guess, see why you enjoyed it so much.
Yes.
Manga or anime for you out of the 2? Which one? Like, what do you feel like?
Which one do I like more? Yeah.
Because I know, like, you could say like manga, because obviously you get more story and background.
Yeah.
But did seeing it come to life? Because I know, like, I like to watch, like, we'll say like One Piece, but I'm also reading it, and sometimes it's panel for panel, but sometimes it's a little different. You have to cut things or add things to fluff out the story. But sometimes I just really like seeing what I've read animated. It feels different, obviously.
Yeah.
So like, if you could say like, what is your favorite, or do you not feel that way?
I don't feel that way. I feel the manga and the anime film are doing two separate things. So I can't compare them the way that a manga and an anime series are basically supposed to be mirrors of each other. I can compare whether I like a manga to the anime series, but the movie's doing something totally different. It's trying to basically just tell you the story of this character's journey of being the best jazz player ever, and it gives you a beginning, middle, and end, the way that a movie needs a 3-act structure, whereas the manga, it's like slice of life for most of the story, and then it gets into a plot. And then afterwards, there's more slice of life, and then it goes into a plot. So because the manga does something totally different and the movies are trying to achieve something different, I can't compare the two. I love them both for different reasons.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. So that's your top 10 best movies. So now we're going to go into my top 10 weakest movies of the year.
Trash movies.
I wouldn't even say that.
Trash.
No.
Trash. Garbage.
I chose the word weakest because a lot of the movies that we saw that disappointed us, a lot of them aren't even like in the dog shit realm of things. Some of them are just like mediocre, bland, or just okay, but not very good. There's only like I feel like one or two movies here that I can confidently say, yeah, this shit was bad. So it was harsh for me to say that these are the worst. I would say weakest. And starting at number 10, I'm giving it to The Marvels. Now, I, for the most part, enjoyed The Marvels, but only because of the character dynamics, specifically with Miss Marvel. I love the character of Miss Marvel. That actress, she brings that character to life and makes it her own. I don't know shit about the original source material, and I don't care because the comics are the comics and the movies are the movies, and people need to understand the distinction. It is a very messy script. The villain is whack as shit. It's the laziest that they've ever been in terms of plotting and stuff. And I think it's riddled with like reshoots, and I don't know if the actors and writers strike had anything to do with the fact that they couldn't polish this movie more. But I still had a good time with this movie, but it's definitely one of the weakest movies that Marvel has put out. Like, but it's still not as bad as something like Thor 2 or like was there I can't even Iron Man 2. I didn't like that shit at all. I would still watch this over those two. And again, I'll probably get backlash for saying that, but it's definitely like one of those pieces of the MCU where it's just like, yeah, you're one of the parts that's not really working. And I can't help but still not feel shit for Captain Marvel. She has no fucking personality whatsoever. I don't think it's Brie Larson's fault. If you recast her with any other actress, it's the same bland material for the character. She has no personality. There's an interesting conflict with her and Monica Rambeau that doesn't get explored really, and I was looking forward to that, and then they just dropped that shit.
That was kind of stupid to me.
It was.
It was. Honestly, I didn't know. Like, I guess I understood why like Monica was upset, but I also just like, get over it. I don't know.
Because she also wasn't confronting her directly.
Yeah, and that's why I was just like, okay.
So you can be upset, but do something about it.
Yeah,
or do nothing and move on.
Move on, because this was like so stupid. I was just like, we don't need this.
I would have rather watched a movie of them two do like a mediation session for like an hour.
Yeah.
That would have been more interesting than the stuff going on in space. And then the weird, stupid X-Men cameo post-credit scene that meant nothing to me. I was like, all right.
Oh, yeah.
You're grasping at straws here. So this is one of the weaker ones that I've seen this year. Number 9 is Insidious, The Red Door. Another one of those movies where I forgot we saw this year.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's with the good-looking guy, right?
Yes, P. Willie. Patrick Wilson.
P.
Willie.
Wilson.
P. Willie.
He looked
Patrick
really
Wilson.
good in that Moon movie with the moon falling, and I was like, ooh, who is he? But he's just the old white man that's been around for a while. But he looked good there. Good to him. Yes. Continue.
Yes. Yeah, but he's one of my favorite actors, honestly. Anytime he's in a movie, he's never the weak point. Like, even in fucking Moonfall, it's a terrible fucking movie, it's not his fault. Every time he's on screen, I'm like, all right, I'm entertained.
Yeah.
So this movie, again, not a bad movie, but it's the weakest one of the Insidious films, and it was doing something very interesting with the father and son dynamic of them exploring generational trauma through the father giving his son amnesia, basically, to block out what happened in the first movie to protect him. Because it's a very relatable thing where parents try to keep things away from you that might have happened to you or might have happened to previous family members, and you feel like you have some sort of memory of it, but nobody's willing to talk to you about it, but it's affecting you, and it's frustrating. And they didn't explore that deeply enough. They gave me just enough to be intrigued, but it ultimately fell flat because there's other things going on that were just not that important. Mm-hmm. So despite it having interesting moments, it is a really like lackluster film, and I hope it's the last Insidious because I don't feel like we have to revisit that universe anymore. So Insidious gets number 9 for me. And then number 8, we get It Lives Inside, another horror movie, which we've also reviewed on the podcast as well. We already went over this. It had a very promising premise of a child of immigrant parents from India, and basically also dealing with basically generational trauma from the parents in this form of a demon that she unleashes, and it wreaks havoc in the neighborhood. Again, it just plays out like a very stereotypical bad Hollywood horror film. And when the director said that he grew up on horror films from Hollywood, I was like, okay, cool. So it's going to be a fresh take on what he's seen with American cinema, but with his own fresh take from India. But no, it was just copy and paste all the bullshit like possession ghost movies that we've seen where the monster fucks with you for like an hour, and then the last 30 minutes, it's finally actually trying to harm you. And it's just like, the rules here don't make sense.
You let all of India down.
Though, again, we mentioned this in the podcast. As much as I was disappointed with this movie, I hope that we get to see more from this filmmaker because he's very young. I think he's like in his 20s or something. I hope that he only gets better from here. Yeah. Because not every debut from a director starts off strong. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it was pretty mediocre. So that's why it gets my number 8. And then in number 7, we've got The Creator, another film that we reviewed recently. This is a sci-fi film that's all about AI. And it just, upon reflection, it just felt more and more like this is just propaganda for us to get warm and cozy with the concept of AI in Hollywood.
It's not happening.
No, I will be very suspect because it's not the AI itself that I have a problem with. It's the people and the usage of it.
Which The Creator showed the people were the problem. They started the problem, they caused it, and then they're trying to turn around on AIs.
Yeah, which was very interesting, but it also just, it didn't feel like it was giving us anything new and interesting to talk about or think about in terms of artificial intelligence. It just automatically told us, feel bad for the AI characters, which I did, but we don't live with AI. AI is such a complex subject on its own, and for you to just take a lazy route and just say, the AIs are good, decent people, like them. That's the thesis of the movie. It's like, and it's visually stunning. I love what they did with the small budget that they did. Again, Hollywood needs to learn from movies like this. It's impressive.
Small budget at all.
It's impressive what they did visually and cinematography wise, but in terms of directing and writing characters, it still falls flat for me for the most part. And again, not a bad movie, but it's like very middle of the road. It's like, it's just fine. It's just fine. So that gets number 7. Number 6 for me is The Blackening. And I don't know if anybody listening right now even knows what this movie is.
Why you say it like that?
I don't know, because I almost forget what this movie is about, but it's...
I forgot it was on my list. That's how weak it is, guys.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's not a bad movie. Again, another movie, I can't say it's bad. It's mediocre, because there are moments where I was laughing, and there were moments where the jokes just completely fell flat for me.
I feel like it could have worked if it was like early 2000s. If this came out in the early 2000s, it could have worked because it feels
reminiscent of that era, but yes. I felt like it was reminiscent of not the best parts of the early 2000s for me personally.
But we wouldn't, well, I don't know I wouldn't have known any different. I love my early 2000 movies and I grew up on those and I rewatch them sometimes. I could pop one of those on like right now, 90 minutes.
I think those are better written though. I think they were better made movies compared to this.
Were they better written movies or were we just not that evolved then?
No, some of the 2000s movies are actually better comedies. They're actually good comedies from that era. I mean, a lot of them are problematic as shit.
Yeah.
Yes, but there are also very good ones. This one felt, and I like that I got the 2000s vibe from it. It just wasn't funny enough. And like some of the commentary just felt kind of flat. And some of the character decisions, I was just like, wait, no, that's stupid as fuck. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. And I know they were making fun of that, but it didn't change the fact that what was happening was really stupid. So I don't know. I expected a lot more laughs out of this movie, and I was kind of disappointed at how it didn't bite hard enough. It could have gone much harder with the social commentary and the comedy, and it just didn't go for it. So The Blackening gets my number 6 position. Number 5. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dookie. Destiny.
I had to go back on the notes. I was just like, wait, what?
That's what I would call it, because this is not something we reviewed, and I'm glad we didn't review it. I mean, this is before we started the podcast, but man, this movie was... This is one of those movies that made... Well, it costed over $200 million, and it looked like this shit was made... like in somebody's backyard with some green screen shaking in the background.
Yeah, because the $199 million went to...
That just went to Harrison Ford.
Yes, it did.
Because this motherfucker, I don't know how he said yes to this when he looks so done with these action movies. He was done with Star Wars. I thought he was done with this, and then he came back for this. I like parts of the movie, but for the most part, it was boring as shit. And this is coming from somebody who's not even a diehard Indiana Jones fan. Like I pretty much like the older movies, but I don't love them. Mm-hmm. They're not my favorite type of thing. And I know everyone hates the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull movie with the aliens and shit, but I feel like honestly that might have been more interesting. I saw that in theaters with my dad, and I think I had a more fun time there than watching this, because this was a movie I watched with Danny and Jerry. Because we were just hanging out. We just wanted to hang out that night, and it was at night too. So I don't know if I was just tired or if the movie was that boring, but I wanted to sleep. It was one of those movies where I was fighting sleep.
Thank goodness I did not go with y'all.
Yeah, and this movie is too fucking long. It is like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 50 minutes too long. And
what is up with fucking Hollywood making trash-ass, long-ass movies?
That are so bloated in the budget.
You don't need to do this. Like,
I don't know. I just couldn't buy into a 90-year-old man riding a horse, whipping people, and fighting Nazis again.
Oh, I was just like, sounds like a...
Yeah, no, that would be a totally different movie that I'd be complaining about. Yeah, and it gets number 5. It's I would say this is one of the bad movies. Don't make any more Indiana Jones, please. Just leave it alone.
You jinxed it.
Yeah. And I kind of regret putting it at 5. I think it should be at number 4, because at number 4 I put it on Evil Dead Rise. And this is a movie that you didn't watch. I watched with my friends, Mike, and I think Fernando came with us. But I went with a group of friends, and we didn't review this. Again, this is way before the podcast. And I love the Evil Dead franchise. I love Sam Raimi. His direction style is so unique. You can tell right away that it's his style. And to see an Evil Dead Rise, see this movie not being directed by him, being a sequel to a remake of Evil Dead, also not directed by him, but that was a fun movie. And for this to kind of like fall flat was like very disappointing for me, because not once did I feel scared. It's like it had all the right ingredients. It took place in a high-rise apartment where the family couldn't get out of the house because the demon was hunting them in their own apartment that's claustrophobic as fuck. Like, there's a mom that gets possessed by a demon, and it should be scary, and the shots are creepy, the vibe is creepy, but I never once felt suspense. And then there's also really stupid fucking characters that I was just like, I don't care if you make it. I want you to get got.
Get got.
I want you to get got. And you got. And I was like, all right, good. It took you too long though. There's just like a lot of frustrating things with this movie that just like disappointed me, made me feel bored. I didn't feel like any tension compared to the previous movie, where like in the previous movie there was a shot of somebody sawing off their cheek, but you didn't see it. You just heard the audio, and it just the audio alone made you cringe really hard.
I'm cringing now.
Yes. Whereas here, it's like there was a cartoony thing where somebody choked on an eyeball to death, and I was just like, all right, that's very Looney Tunes vibes right there.
What?
Yeah. So it wasn't one of my favorite Evil Dead adaptations, and I was like, all right, you're getting on the weak list. Wasn't bad, but it was mediocre. Now, a really bad movie, but it was also pretty fun, at number 3 is Fast X. I do not like any of the Fast franchise movies. I don't genuinely like any of them. I think they're all fucking stupid. I wish they would go back to the first.
This is our childhoods.
It's not my childhood. I stayed away from the Fast franchise as much as I could as a teenager. I ended up going to like, I think the 4th movie in theaters because my brother wanted to see it and then our parents went to see it. And I that's also
like for family, Alvin.
For family. For familia. You couldn't guess what the fuck Dominic Toretto's race is. Sometimes he's Puerto Rican, sometimes he's biracial, sometimes he's white, sometimes he's just fucking alien. Because this man just takes hits and there's no explanation for how he survives car hits and pavement hits and explosion hits. And he probably got stabbed in the heart at one point and probably still survived.
Yeah, power of family.
Yeah, but Jason Momoa saved this movie for me. He was the most entertaining part of Fast X. If he wasn't there, I would not give a shit about what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Again, another movie that was $200 million too much and 2 hours too long.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really bad, stupid fucking movie. It was fun to watch, but it's not something that I was willing to watch for fun. This was for work, basically. So Fast X gets my number 3. At number 2, this was a very hard choice between number 2 and number 1.
What? Okay.
Yes, I have my reasons.
Okay, yes, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man number 3. What's it called? Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm surprised I remember that fucking name. That comes in at number 2. I will say this. This is another movie that's definitely bad. I would say is genuinely bad. The fact that I like the Marvels more than this and everyone's hating on the Marvels, it says something about the state of Marvel right now and the lack of quality that's coming out, where they've just been spamming us with content rather than just taking their time and crafting a good story that makes sense. Because what the fuck do you mean Jonathan Majors got beat by a scrawny white man in an ant suit? In a fist fight.
Yeah.
And some ants. Like, I like Ant-Man. He's a cool character. He cannot beat someone named Kang, who's a big-ass dude that can manipulate like time, space, and shoot lasers and shit, and just conquer all types of kingdoms. Like you lost in a fist fight to a guy that turns small and talks to ants and is like 160 pounds, and you're like fucking 220 of just like pure muscle, not a single inch of fat, and you lost in a fist fight. I couldn't buy it. That was like the worst aspect. I'm not even getting into the other stuff, like that stupid MODOK character that made no fucking sense, had no place. I didn't care about anything that was going on in the quantum realm, because I'm like, this shit it looks like you're in a soundstage right now.
It really gave Made in Abyss vibes. I don't know if anybody's read that that manga or watched that anime, but that's the vibes I was getting when they went into that area, and I was just like, this seems like it needs more time. Like, I feel like we shouldn't be here right now. We have to do this later. Yeah, that was...
This movie made no fucking sense.
I think I was checking work emails when we went to go see that. I'm pretty sure I was doing
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, this was a huge surprise coming off of Marvel, because I mean the Ant-Man movies aren't anything great. They're
first one's good. Obviously, we're introduced to.
Second one is forgettable as fuck.
I don't know.
I don't remember what happened. There's some chick that turns invisible. I don't fucking know. And then this one.
And then this one.
And then this one. I mean, just the fact that you could just throw away the Kang character based off of this movie alone, that tells me enough about the state of Marvel. And it's just like, get back to taking your time and making good movies, because this was bad. This movie was so boring, and I didn't care about what was going on, who was going through what. Just end the movie now. So that's Ant-Man at number 2. Number 1 is going to be bestowed upon Adam Driver's 65. And this is a movie that should not have been fucking as bad as it was. It should not have been as boring as it was, because this is a movie about a man who is basically a fucking revealed to be like an alien, but he just looks human, comes from a futuristic planet, comes to this unknown planet with creatures running around. Come to find out, it's Earth 66 million years ago, when dinosaurs used to run around. Mm-hmm. He was essentially the first ever fucking man walking around with dinosaurs, protecting this little girl, doing this little Last of Us journey of getting this girl to safety. And you made it so fucking bland and so fucking boring. And I was just like, how did you fuck this up? As soon as I saw that it was being released in January, I was like, all right, I know what to expect.
January, where movies go to die.
Yes. And 65 is one of those really just awful fucking movies.
It could have been a Prime movie.
It's easily straight to streaming, and then it wouldn't be any more entertaining. It would be just as boring. I would have cut that shit off at like 10 minutes because
Adam Driver.
It doesn't matter.
He's so tall.
That's fine. He was tall in Rise of Skywalker, and that was a hot piece of shit.
But there wasn't enough of him in that.
No, but it didn't matter. And in 65, there was a lot of him, and it didn't save the movie. I don't know how you make a man with a laser gun fighting dinosaurs boring. That should have been some goofy, fun action right there. That could have been better than the Jurassic World movies. And the fact that I would rather rewatch the stupid Jurassic World movies than this, that is a problem. That is saying something. This gets number 1. I don't know how you mess this up. Don't make a 66. That's all I can say.
Well, going into my weakest top 10, we're going to start with 65 at number 10.
You copied me.
No, your 65 was worse. Mine's isn't that bad because it was just like, it was just a throwaway movie.
I guess you enjoyed it more than I did.
I know that plot twist when they really weren't human and they were on Earth. Oh my gosh. Mind blown. I was just like, oh my God.
I like the part where I saw the ending coming a mile away. There's going to be some meteors. The dinosaurs are going to go extinct and they had to find a way to fly out of this planet.
You saw that coming? I didn't see that coming.
That's the only ending that I could imagine.
No, yes. Everything about this movie was obvious. I just like Adam Driver. I'm sorry. I'm one of those.
Fair. No,
fair.
Sometimes good to look at.
I know the movie's bad. Like I can admit when a movie's bad. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go a little hard for it if I just like what I'm looking at. That's it. I said it. Okay. So
fair enough.
Next, The Creator. I don't really have much to say about this one.
That says a lot about being a weak movie.
Yeah, it was a weak movie. It's just, I mean, even our top 10 best movies, there's still some of them, like not all of them, but there's still some of them where it's just like they could have been better.
Yeah.
I feel like this was lacking. It could have been better. That's all I have to say about that one. Number 8 would be Insidious: The Red Door. I don't give a shit about the Insidious movies. I only went to watch it because you were like, we're going to go watch this. I was like, okay. But I picked up, the relationship between the son and the dad, the trauma that's there.
Yeah, we rewatched the first 2 movies in preparation, I think.
Yeah.
So you got context at
least.
Just
so I could know, because, I mean, I don't think...
You didn't have to watch the previous ones, which is good.
Yeah, you didn't have to watch it, but I think I just wanted to,
Feel.
Yes. I just wanted to, not go in, not knowing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just like, people always talk about Insidious or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I never was into this movie just because I don't like movies like that. But, yeah, it was also weak. And number 7, The Blackening, it just wasn't. It wasn't funny.
blackening.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was not given black. No, it was just. It wasn't funny. I don't know. Maybe I was expecting something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I barely laughed. And I honestly, I didn't feel like it's because it was really giving early 2000s vibe and we're just not there anymore. There's so many things that I can say about that, but it was not giving.
Yeah.
That's we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Number 6. That Dungeon and Dragon shit.
You didn't like that one? I actually enjoyed
it. I enjoyed it, but it was a weak film for me.
Could have had more punch to the fun of it.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It was silly. It was goofy. I felt like
I forget who the villain is. I think that's my main problem. I forget who the fuck the villain is.
Wasn't it the king or the?
I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm blacked out on this.
Yeah, it was silly. I feel like I was going with some younger cousins or something to go see it because they wanted to see it, and it wasn't the worst thing. But I'm glad my cousins enjoyed it.
I'm cousins. Me and Danny are cousins.
Yeah. And then let's see, number 5, Shazam. Fury of the Gods. That was this year, right?
That was this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I think February or some shit like that.
It was enjoyable. More so than the first one, just because the first one had that middle act that was just so long and so boring. and I got bored. So that's why I was just like, fair. Shazam was bad when Alvin's just like, this is pretty good for a D. And I was just like, it was
the first
bad.
movie is good. I love the first one.
But it was just like, why is it so long? So
the third act was too fucking long. They need to cut that down.
Yes. And the second one, I was just like...
You had way more fun. And I actually enjoyed it too. We both enjoyed it a lot more than other people gave it credit for.
I feel like, because we got past that whole like, he's Shazam and then like keeping it a secret part. So it was just like, now you could just be silly and fun with it. So I was like enjoying it. But I was just like... Flaws. I just don't like the villains.
They're so mediocre. They're underwritten as fuck.
Yeah,
they didn't put any effort.
And I don't like Wonder Woman. I don't know why. She's like, oh yeah, cameo. Billy. Yes, I hate that theme song.
I used to like it. I have it on my phone. I hate that I bought it.
You better delete that shit.
I can't. I paid money for that.
What?
I paid money for it.
Oh my god.
Yes, I know.
God. Who are you?
I know.
But
that stupid ass cameo. I've come to revive you. No.
After I watched you get your ass beat, child Billy, I came to...
I watched you die.
Just so I could bring you back so that way these fucking losers could still like me and want me in the movie because they think I'm hot. Anyways, y'all know I don't like her.
Yeah.
Moving on. The Marvels. That was just... I feel like I want to just, like, I'm like a teacher just like, you know what? I know this isn't your best work. Just take it back and you can turn it in later. I know you can do better than this.
Try to get a C.
Yeah, like, come on. It wasn't, I like Kamala and Monica. No offense, Brie Larson, but
yeah, Captain Marvel was just no personality.
I don't know. You should have just ignored them and did what you want. I don't know if they can do that. If actors could, like, I don't know, be a diva and, like, do the right thing.
Sometimes it pays off.
Yeah, because I'm just like, why? She sucks. Captain Marvel is just so
she's kind of an
bland.
asshole. We've seen her kind of be an asshole in this movie, and it's just like, you're not gonna do better.
It's like you just want her to be like this, like cold, hard, like she saves worlds and she does this, and I'm just like,
and I'm fine if you
doesn't.
do that, but give her the arc.
Yeah,
give her a full arc. There's no exploration of the things that she kind of came up short on.
You basically have her niece reunited with her.
Yeah.
And then you have this young new girl who looks up to her so much, and there was not a thaw. Like, even the Grinch's heart grew like 3 fucking sizes, and she couldn't get any character development. She couldn't be a character. I was so disappointed with that. It was disappointing to see the three of them together and for nothing to happen.
Yeah.
You know,
just to get Monica Rambeau kicked out of the fucking MCU again and be placed in another dimension with X-Men.
Yeah.
And
so
like, what?
I was just like, if anything, y'all should have put Kamala's little ass over there since she actually is a mutant from what they're saying. So.
Put all the mutants, take all the mutants in Bikini Bottom and push them somewhere else.
Like, no, because then eventually she's going to find a way back. She could have came back stronger. Kamala, Miss Marvel, like, you know, when
and
they
I keep
do
forgetting the
her.
Stupid multiverse is a thing in this phase, and it's just like, it's not working.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't know what to do with it. They're doing too many things. I'm like, why do y'all need to sit down and like combine things? Like, let's just focus on one world. Are we leaving this universe where, you know, Tony Stark is like gone, and are we gonna leave that? Because we can. Yeah. We could totally leave that, and you could take, I don't know, Kamala and like a few others and bring them into a new world or whatever you want to do. I don't know. Or we could just go somewhere new, and you don't have to talk about Iron Man or, you know, it's just, I don't know. There's so many things they can do, and I feel like they're just opening all these like doors, closing some of them or not closing them, leaving them wide open or keeping them cracked. And I'm just like, this just feels messy now. I don't feel like that same excitement of following. I mean, they didn't always do perfect with some of the movies that we watched in that first basically story leading up to Thanos, but it was still something to look forward. I'm just like, okay, it's leading up to something. This is happening. This is leading up to something. Even when they did their little side things or different characters had their own side stories, it was leading to something. So this was really just disappointing amongst all the other shows and movies that Marvel's dropped so much. I feel like I have so much to say about this. Gosh. Anyways, moving on. Moving on. The Flash is number 3.
I forgot The Flash.
You forgot The Flash.
Even though I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'm glad you did. The only thing I enjoyed was Ezra Miller's crazy ass and his physique. He looked good. I liked it. The hair on the chest, yes. He's a good looking man. He's just really fucked up, but isn't all of Hollywood. So that's just all I have to say about that. That super lady woman.
That fucker Wonder Woman shows up again in this, right? She rescues Batman from falling or some shit in the beginning of the movie.
Wait, Wonder Woman was in this?
Yes, she made another cameo.
What the fuck?
The first 10 minutes of the movie when they're done catching all the babies falling, and then there's like a bridge or some shit that's falling apart.
Anyways, this movie was trash.
Because Wonder Woman.
Because Wonder Woman. Just like Shazam was trash because of Wonder Woman. But I just didn't like this. The only thing I
surprisingly
enjoyed about it was his, him getting through like his mom dying.
And him trying to change that.
That was really emotional for me.
That was the heart of the story. I actually genuinely was affected by that.
And then coming to find out that the villain was him. He trying to go back. Yeah. Surprise, motherfucker. It was him. So that was like, if I could just take that out, and even if it ended up being like a 20-minute movie, I would have been like, you know what, Flash is on my top 10. But I just didn't care about everything else. I don't like that super woman that they brought in because she was weak. Didn't she die too or something?
She dies, yeah. And she doesn't have much of a character arc.
I'm just like, Henry Cavill would never. Like, it's just, but he did.
This bitch ass died too.
Yeah, but it was just like, I don't care about any of this.
You don't like Michael Keaton Batman coming in, 80-year-old Batman flying around?
He was okay. He was fine. He did what he was like. They were like, oh, we want to bring you back because it'll be funny. We're gonna put Nicolas Cage's face in there with this weird thing, and then he did fine. He got his paycheck. I'm happy for him. He was good. Everything else was just, it was stupid and it felt really long, and I hate those fucking CGI babies, and it was,
the CGI was atrocious.
It was bad. I wasn't enjoying it. I really
That's
wasn't.
Fair.
I just liked the emotional part, and that's all I really pulled from it, with him trying to change, the past.
Mm-hmm.
That was about it. And then let's see, what's the next thing we got going here? Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. That was trash, garbage. And we don't need to get into that. Mm-hmm. Number one, which I don't feel should be number one anymore, but number one, just because Gal Gadot showed up at the end of it, Fast X.
Oh shit!
Yes.
I forgot. Oh my god!
She's just like, hello, I'm alive. And now poor what's his face is gonna be like, my girlfriend's back. I don't have to chew chips anymore or something. I don't know. It's just why they bring her back.
And I thought Marvel was guilty of fake deaths in the universe, but Fast and Furious keep doing this too.
That, when the 11th movie comes out, they're going to explain how the bitch survived. And I don't care.
I'm not going to watch it.
Yes, you are. I'm just not going to watch it. We're going to watch it.
We're not going to watch
this. Okay, the Fast and Furious franchise, all these movies, they're bad. I mean, well, they didn't start off bad, I feel like. Like, the first one was what it was.
It was okay, and then it just got progressively crazy.
It just kept, yes, that's the thing. I think that's why I love watching them, because they're just like, how, like, y'all still doing this and they're still trash. But I can't stop watching. They're fun to watch because they're so bad. Like, I guess that's like my guilty pleasure, like franchise movie. It's just like watching shitty reality TV. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their own that they like love to watch. I love watching the Fast X movies because they're just ridiculous.
Fair enough.
They are just so bad.
I can't sit through anymore if they're gonna be over 2 fucking hours. That's insane.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense.
You do not have enough plot for this, sir.
Yeah, but he has family, so we have to follow.
Everyone's a fucking family.
Yeah.
God, it's insane.
Oh my goodness.
So those are your top 10 weakest.
Those are my top 10 weakest.
All right. And now we're gonna briefly go through our honorable mentions before getting into our most anticipated of 2024.
You added to yours.
I did?
This doesn't look like it when I was doing mine.
What do you mean? Oh, for honorable mentions?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I feel like there's still more movies that I could have thought of that didn't make it to the honorable mentions,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to go through them briefly. So these are honorable mentions for movies that could have cracked our top 10 best, but just couldn't quite make it. I'll start with, in no particular order whatsoever, I will start with No One Will Save You. just having a cool ass title like that, just like making it sound like there's just fucking death wherever you turn. That alone got my interest. And when I saw that it's an alien home invasion film, which is basically the third act of Signs, I was like, all right, I'm all for it. The trailers got me. I was like, I don't need to see any more. And I was like, wait, this isn't going to theaters. This is going straight to Hulu. What the? All right. This could either be really good or really bad, because we saw Prey suffer the same fate, where it was a really good movie, but it went straight to Hulu.
Oh, yes. The dog survived.
No One Will Save You is such a fun time. It's they get creative with the aliens and the suspense that it builds, and having a character that doesn't talk for basically the entire movie for good reason, and I like it, and it adds to the tension and the weirdness. But the ending got so fucking goofy that I had to sit on it for a while, and I was just like, I don't like this ending.
Yeah.
It did a 180 on the tone, and I was just like, this feels like a weird cartoon.
They're like, we didn't know how to end it, so let's just do something
here. Yeah. So that's kind of what kept it from my top 10, because the ending was kind of make it or break it, and it kind of broke for me. Knock at the Cabin was actually on my honorable mentions. So it was good. I liked it, but I didn't like it enough compared to what I had in the top 10. I was just like, I'm sorry, bro. I can't fit you anywhere. There's only so many people you can fit on this boat. And then I had Dungeons and Dragons. Again, I liked it, but didn't love it enough. And then I actually have The Little Mermaid, which if you go back to past Alvin and you told him, hey, you're going to like the live action Little Mermaid, I'd laugh in your face.
You didn't even watch the original.
I've watched the original as a kid. I just forgot how it went. And I never rewatched it because I don't really care for a lot of Disney stories.
That's my favorite Disney princess.
I know.
She's a mermaid.
Yes.
She's got red hair.
Yes.
And it's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one's black with red hair, so I hope you like that.
Should I start singing the
song?
No,
shush.
Okay.
No. The Little Mermaid actually turned out to be pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I liked it more than the animated film. You guys can fight me on that. That's fine.
I will. Don't worry, guys. I got you.
Yes. So that was the Little Mermaid made it on that list. And then to piss people off more, these next two movies is gonna cause some controversy, I think. Oppenheimer was on my honorable mentions. I know that it's like a technical masterpiece, and it's Christopher Nolan. He does great with films. I enjoyed watching Oppenheimer. And it's amazing that you can engage people for 3 hours of people just talking and having discussions about the implications of an atomic bomb. But I didn't love it the way that other people did. And I think it's just because I have very mixed, complicated feelings about stories of dangerous white men that have caused so much like problems to the world. Like adding a nuclear bomb to humanity didn't help anybody. Like I get the gray area that if we didn't get to the atomic bomb first, somebody else was going to do it and then they'd harm us. But it's like, it doesn't matter who has the power. Nobody should ever have it. And at least they put emphasis on the Oppenheimer person not wanting to do this, but you ultimately did do this. Like, I don't know. I walked away from the theater and I was just like, if I was one of the scientists that the government sought out and said, hey, we need you to make this blowy uppy thing that could possibly just destroy everyone, I'd be like, you could like jail me right now or shoot me, but I'm going to run and I'm not going to be part of this war. Like, I don't care. I'm not helping you.
Yeah.
So all the mixed, dirty feelings that I got from the movie just made it feel like I like this movie, but I have problems with it and I can't put it in my top 10. Next is The Boy and the Heron. Again, lots of people, they just feel like you can't go wrong with a Miyazaki film. And that, for the most part, that's true. I do like this movie, but I did not love it. I feel like I have to rewatch it a couple times for me to appreciate what it is, but I didn't love it the way that I love previous Miyazaki films. So that couldn't fit in my top 10. And then finally, I have Missing, which is basically like a standalone sequel to the Searching movie, where it's like found footage style through the laptop camera.
I totally forgot we watched that. But
yeah, that didn't go to theaters. That was
Netflix.
It was, yeah, we watched it on Netflix. That was such a good movie. It was such a fun, wild ride. Every wild turn that it took, I was like, wait, what? Wait, what's it doing now? Wait, who's guilty?
Yeah.
It was really fun to just experience all those crazy turns of trying to figure out who is it that's responsible for this missing mother. And it was really a fun time. But compared to the top 10 that I had, I was just like, I can't fit you anywhere here. As good as you were. You were a fun time, but you didn't make it. So those are my honorable mentions.
So my list is shorter, but The Little Mermaid, I wouldn't put it in my top 10 at all, even if I had room for it, just because OG Little Mermaid, we out here. So, but it was good. I appreciate what they did. I'm mad that they left out the scene with the kitchen and the chef. Don't know why they did that.
Poisson.
Yes, that was really fun. They should have done that, and maybe it would have been my top 10. The Super Mario Bros. Movie. I
almost forget we watched that. Yeah, that was in the summer.
I just love the Peaches song, and I don't know anybody else who doesn't. And if you say you don't, you're a liar.
I'm so mad that it's not nominated for Best Song in the Oscars. It
should have been. Like, what the?
I don't know what disqualified it. It's part of the plot of the movie. The dude's singing about the plot of him trying to abduct Peach.
Is it because it's animated?
No, it can't be that. That's some bullshit. Put some respect on animated movies' names.
Yeah.
This was a fun... It doesn't have a lot of story, but it was fun nostalgia.
Yeah, it really was. I didn't think I was going to give two shits about it, honestly, the movie.
That's
but
fair.
When that song... Yeah, I was just like, this is too funny. I can't. I loved it.
Love Jack Black.
And then The Boy and the Heron. I'm still unpacking that one.
Yeah.
It was a good movie to watch, and I feel like I need to watch it a couple times in order to like see what I really get out of it. But I did enjoy it. And it lives inside. I wouldn't have put this on my top 10, and it was, I think I didn't want to put it on my weakest, so that's why I put it here.
Okay.
But everything we talked about it, I thought it was a good film and it had potential. So that's why I'm putting it here, because I saw something in it, and yeah.
All right. That's fair. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head, or no?
I was going to say Barbie, but I just don't care about Barbie like that. It wasn't a bad movie. I think it was just mainly the message that it was...
It's muddy.
It's like I guess I know the message.
Yeah.
Like I've heard this before. You guys just Barbied it up.
Yeah.
Which it works. It's good. And I think this movie's perfect for guys who need to hear this message, girls who also need to hear this message, just people in general who need to hear this message that, you know, they don't think that, you know, oh yeah, you know, women, you know, can be anything they want to. Basically what Barbie was supposed to be when it first came out, and how the doll has evolved over all these like years. I just feel like it was a message that I like already knew. So I think I was expecting something different, but what it did was fine and I liked it. And I don't like movies with like musical stuff like that, which it did a lot of. I'm not really into, but it wasn't like so bad, 'cause there was like a lot of plot and story and things going on with Barbie where I could ignore the music parts. But it wasn't best and it wasn't worse. It was just like, okay, I know this message. I get it. I don't think it's for me right now, but I think it could definitely be beneficial to someone. And I love that everybody was hyped and excited to go out and dress up for it. But I didn't really... It wasn't like really something that I cared about.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So then now we'll go into our highly anticipated films for 2024. And then again, no particular order, because it's not like we know exactly what the quality is for new movies. So I'll start off with the next Joker movie, Joker 2. I think it's called Folie à Deux. French
I ignored that and put the 2 there.
Yeah, it's like Joker Madness. 2. I think it translates to Madness for 2 because there's going to be a Harley Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Played by Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Which that's exciting for me.
That's also on my list.
I did not... I was very resistant against the sequel because I'm like, you guys made it a mission to just do a standalone movie. But if you have an idea for a sequel, I'm open to it. So I'm excited for that. Twisters, and no, this is not the board game. I'm talking about Twisters. It's not supposed to be a direct sequel, but like a spiritual sequel to the 1990s movie Twister, which you've never watched.
Yeah,
it's like this weird little cult classic. I got exposed to it at my uncle's house back when my cousins used to live here in Boston. He had a VHS tape And I was just like, Twisters? Is this a movie about tornadoes? And he's like, yeah, let me put it on. And then I got fucked up seeing the scene of the cow getting swooped up in the air. I was like, oh my God. It was like my first entry into disaster films.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very curious to see what the hell they're going to do with a sequel to Twister that has nothing to do with the original characters. It's just there's probably going to be more tornadoes because now it's Twister plural. So I'm curious about that. And then next, Sonic 3. I almost forgot Sonic 3 was coming. I've been dying to see the next Sonic movie ever since Sonic 2. When they dropped that teaser for Shadow, I was like, give this shit to me now. Give it to me now.
I know. I wasn't expecting to enjoy Sonic movies.
I know. After the first one, I was like, damn, I actually like this movie. The second movie, wow, I fucking love this franchise. It's not the best in storytelling. It's got stupid stuff in it, but... yeah. It feeds my inner child.
It does.
In the best
I guess
way
that's
possible.
what it is, right? Because I guess growing up, like I had cousins that played with the Sonic and played the video games and all that stuff. And then my brother, he was like really into like, I guess the Sonics that they had like later. Yeah. And that's like the only thing I know about it. So I went to see and I was like, I'm not going to like this. And I ended up loving the first one. The second movie was okay just because some of the story wasn't that great. But there was still some stuff that I really enjoyed about the second one. So I was like definitely looking forward to the third.
Yeah, so can't wait for that. Sonic 3 could not come fast enough, please. Pun intended. Next, I've got Mickey 17, which is a weird fucking title, but all I know about this movie is that it's Bong Joon-ho's next film starring Robert Pattinson, and it's a science fiction film.
Okay.
I don't know shit about it. There's a teaser they released like almost a fucking year ago.
I'm going to have to look that
It's a very short little teaser. It tells you nothing. I see Robert Pattinson naked in a chamber or some shit.
Oh, I'm there.
So you put Bong Joon-ho's name, Robert Pattinson.
Booty.
Booty. If there wasn't a booty shot, but if they had booty, I'd be there. I'm in there. I can't wait for Mickey 17. No idea what the fuck it is, but I'm in there. Next, we got A Quiet Place, Day 1. I, at first, was hesitant to see any more Quiet Place movies after the first one because I was like, no, this feels like a one and done. But then they did the second one. I was like, all right, this is good. It's a two and done. And then now they're talking about fucking spin-off prequel, rebootquels. I was like, all right, we're going to follow Lupita Nyong'o on the first day of this outbreak of aliens. All right, sold. I hope I get to see her, fight naked or something. That'd be nice, but probably not. So I'm there. I'll be very looking forward to another Quiet Place movie because they've been good so far. Yeah. And they're doing exactly what I want. They're expanding the world now. Now we're following other characters. We're following them in other places, other time periods. This is the best route to go because there's only so far you can go with the same fucking family. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Next, this is probably my most highly anticipated movie of all time for this year. Alien Romulus. Now, that's like a working title. That's not the official title. That's what they're giving us for now. That's going to be the next sequel film to the Alien franchise, which you and I have been watching recently because you were curious about Alien because I just don't shut up about it ever since I first started playing Alien Isolation back when COVID first hit.
You said it.
I love this world so fucking much. I love the first two movies. I think we agree the second movie is probably the most enjoyable one. Yeah. It's a nice blend of action and suspense and thrills and some comedy. But that world is so fascinating. I just fucking love the low-tech world of like those movies. Like it looks like the 70s, but in the future. You have very limited access to other people for help. You're out in this fucking spaceship trapped with this frightening fucking creature that you can't kill easily. And it can hear you from a mile away. And we've had some bad movies since like the first two movies. I mean, Prometheus was okay. I like it, but there's problems with it. And now seeing that this director is pulling from the Alien Isolation game, and he's saying that he's pulling from other materials, comic books, and older movies. There's no trailer yet, but based on the stuff that he's been mentioning and photos that he's been posting, I'm super excited for this. I can't wait to revisit the alien world. I'm ready to be burned again if it's bad, but I really hope it surprises me. So I can't wait for Alien Romulus. And then finally, Nosferatu. It's supposed to be a remake of the classic vampire movie. I never watched the original.
Me neither.
But you'll be excited because it's Robert Eggers directing. He directed The Northman and The Lighthouse.
Ooh.
So he's doing this one. So an A24 type film of Nosferatu, I'm sold. Give me some scary ass vampire movie that will be refreshing. So that basically caps off my most anticipated films for this year.
Okay.
Yes.
So I had a few of yours: Sonic 3, Joker, A Quiet Place.
Yes.
What else? I am looking forward to the Book of Clarence.
The Book of Clarence.
It just, I don't know. It just seems so like kind of goofy, and
it could get it could be really good, or it could be like fun bad, or it could just be really stupid. Boring bad, because it's a January release, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's coming this month.
I'm hoping it's like fun bad. Or,
I want it to be at least fun bad.
Yeah. But I saw it and I was just like, wait, what? And I was laughing throughout the whole trailer, so I was just like, I'm hoping it's good, and they didn't just show me all the funny parts just now. And that's
I know.
Yeah. Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
Ooh.
I know I was telling you, I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to it. Though I was just like, from basically what the trailer showed me, like there's no fucking hope. So I'm just like, I don't know what a bunch of kids in some old ass ghost machinery that don't even work is supposed to do for all of humanity when everybody just got turned to ice and died basically.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't see how this is gonna be much of a movie, but I'm willing to give it a chance because
the last one was really good.
The last one was so good, and I never watched Ghostbuster movies.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up watching them.
This is your entry
never
point.
into them. So yeah, that was my entry point. So that's why I was just like, I'm gonna give this a chance just because I enjoyed this, and I was emotional about one of the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
he passed away, so he wasn't in the movie, and I was emotional about it. I don't even know this man.
I know,
and
never
I was just
grew
like,
up watching that movie.
This is so sad, y'all. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, it's good.
Nice.
Next is Challengers.
I'm excited
Zendaya.
for that one.
She's just...
It's just because of Zendaya.
It literally is. But
this sounds like fun drama.
It does, and I love me some good dramas. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's coming out in like April. The Fall Guy.
There's a Fall Guys movie.
No, with what's his face?
Ryan Gosling.
That
looks fun. I didn't make that on my list, but I am looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
He can do no wrong.
Honestly, don't jinx that. Then we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I am looking forward to it just because I did watch all the other ones. I did enjoy them for the most part, but I was curious when I realized that it's not Caesar's son.
That's what I thought at first, yeah.
Character.
This is like hundreds of years after the last movie.
Yeah, so I was just like, who is this guy? Like, what's going on? Or this ape? I don't know. Like, it's weird to say who's this guy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it to see what they do with it. I can't say if I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go to the movies, but maybe we will go to the movies to see it.
Oh, I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how you felt about those.
Yeah, I like these movies.
And next would be
the Bike Riders.
Bike Riders.
Wow. That movie that keeps getting pushed because nobody wanted it. So messed up. That's interesting. What's got you interested in this one?
That Austin Butler guy looks really good as a biker. That's literally it.
That's so funny. You didn't care about him before this?
No, I didn't. I guess it's because that whole Elvis thing that he did, I really just thought that whole thing was stupid. Then he's like, oh yeah, my voice is stuck like this because I was practicing acting so hard and blah blah. I was just like,
okay.
Yeah, honestly, okay. That was like, sounds super douchey. I don't really care. But I saw this trailer and I was just like, he looks really good. That's enough for me to be curious.
Don't know what the movie's about, but he looks good.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
What else we got?
I think that was it for mine. Or no, I have Deadpool.
You forgot? Yeah, how you forget this man? I'm waiting for you to say.
I'm sorry.
Your favorite Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
He's not my favorite Ryan at all. I can't his face is kind of stupid to me, but
it's perfect for Deadpool.
He's perfect for Deadpool because he's wearing a mask. But yeah, haven't we been waiting like 10 years for this shit? It feels like.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. I don't feel high anticipation for it just because every time I watch a Deadpool movie, I'm like, all right, I feel like this is enough for me.
Yeah,
I never feel like I should watch more of him, but I mean, I'm never disappointed in the movies. They've been good. So we'll see how Deadpool 3 is. And the fact that they're bringing back Hugh Jackman, I think that makes it the most interesting is, wow, this motherfucker came back after he said, I'm done being Wolverine.
Anything for Ryan.
I guess. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Deadpool 3 brings. All right. So with that, I think that wraps up all our thoughts on 2023 movies and 2024 movies. So guys, let us know what your thoughts are on our list. Did you agree or disagreed? Am I just the biggest hater ever with my best top 10 and my weakest 10? Like, do you guys want to fight me? Do you want to fight Jess? Catch out in these streets. Catch us in these streets, and then we'll find out. And definitely let us know in the comments if you're listening, like on YouTube. Like, just definitely comment below your list of top 10 best and weakest movies, because I'm always curious to talk about this with other people, because it's so fun to see what other people take away from movies and what their best ones are and what their worst ones are. I feel like the more you disagree, those are like the more fun conversations, because there's only so much you can say. I'm like, oh yeah, we agree on this one.
Yeah. So
I like seeing when other people's opinions totally differ from ours. So I'll definitely be curious to see what people think in the comments and in the questions and polls that we'll have on Spotify as well. So we hope you guys had a really fun, really good time in movies of 2023. We can't wait to talk more movies with you guys in 2024. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this journey as we start off the 2024 year with our podcast. We just recently started, and it feels like we're getting a lot of love from these people, and we appreciate y'all. You're the best. We love you. And if you really love us, you'll make sure to subscribe wherever you're at, and you hit that bell so that we notify you in the middle of the night to wake up and listen to us. Don't get ready for work. Just listen to us.
Just listen to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll write you a late slip.
Yes. Follow us on all social media. We post whenever we preview our latest episodes there. So that's where you'll find us on Instagram, Twitter as well. Not X. I don't call that shit X. It's Twitter.
Oh, it's still X? It's still called that?
Yes. It's like X.com. Like, I'm not in some weak ass porn site from 2003.
Wow.
Yes. And yeah, we just can't wait to talk more movies and shows with you guys. And we can't wait to try out new things with the show as well. You'll be seeing some new things from us as well. We'll keep it hush for now, but you'll see more of us. You'll see some of us. See. Yes, and I'll just leave it at that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to our episode and to our podcast. You guys be safe. Be careful. Happy New Year. Make all your resolutions. Be easy on yourselves. And remember, Dungeons and Dragons.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, go somewhere.
Bye, guys.